Back from lunch. It is noon o'clock Central, 1 Eastern. Got a few things to talk about. Welcome to the second hour of Mentorship Monday. Hope everyone's doing fantastic. Shane said those videos have so much in them, so good. I agree. Yeah, just got done with lunch session. We're watching the financial fundamentals. I've probably gone through all of those videos. I mean, truly, like 10, 11 times. Almost everyone except the very beginning one. I haven't watched that one that many times, but anyway, yeah, Financial Fundamentals, great series. It's free on YouTube. Make sure to check it out. This is the second hour of Mentorship Monday. There's going to be a few things to talk about. I don't think I'll be taking any trades in the afternoon, but I will go through this list that we have really quick. If there's anybody in a trade or anyone has any questions, let me know. My good buddy Brad, so Brad posted that, another Brad Hauser, said that he played NVIDIA and got enough, he bought some weekly calls on it and made enough to take his family to the amusement park. It's amazing. So good job, Brad, on NVIDIA. Very well done. If you take off the extended hours chart, you'll see just a beautiful, beautiful retracement and a retest down to the 10 EMA right there. Entry above that high wave candle, stop below that high wave candle. Now, as you guys know, in the recording, I did get stopped out really by about a dime, which is just brutal that that occurred, but it happens sometimes, unfortunately. I guess NVIDIA was better than I am today. It's beat me up a few times, but overall, some traders made some money on it. That makes me pleased. I'm happy about that. So NVIDIA, here's the daily chart. There's also a few traders in on a swing level. And again, the good news is, even though I didn't personally profit from it, we can see what the stock did and why it did it. And that is a huge proponent of trading. And again, a very, very massive, massive thing to focus on. So great stuff this morning on NVIDIA. I was looking at Best Buy before I went to lunch, and I decided to wait on it. And thankfully, I think I made the right call to wait on the trade. So I wanted to wait for lunch. It had a higher low right here. So here was the higher low relative to this low, of course. And we were talking about this one earlier in the morning meeting. Look to short it off of this support. And it did. I mean, it would have triggered there to the exact penny. So if you played that short, you wouldn't have lost on the trade. You probably would have gotten trailed out for a very, very small gain. But at this point, I think it is absolutely crucial to keep Best Buy on a swing trade list based on this gap. But as far as a day trade is concerned, we can probably take it off the list. Dick's Sporting Goods, ticker symbol DKS. This is one that we were looking at getting filled on earlier and missed a limit sell right there by a few pennies. That limit sell is simply based on the low of that bullish candle right there. That's it. That was the whole trade analysis on Dick's Sporting Goods, was that once it broke that strong support, let it continue lower. And again, we talked about Dick's earlier today as a swing trade opportunity as well, mentioning that if you wanted to play it, right, remember I talked about entry below here with a stop above there on Dick's as far as a swing trade goes. So if you are in that trade as a swing trader up an R or so, and even if you're not, especially if you're watching the recording, you're definitely not in. I think that analysis and that that kind of presentation and the ability to, again, analyze the gap type and know what type of gap it is and understand what type of gap it is, you'll notice very, very nice bearish gap and go, white candle gapping down. People are certainly trapped on Dick's and bullishly at least, and they're losing money today. Java says, Jeremy, when you say swing, you always mean a bullish one, or do you risk sometimes the overnight exposure on a bearish swing? Yeah, of course. Absolutely. We just exited a bearish swing trade on Twitter earlier today. So, yeah, I'll take a bearish swing. I'll take a bullish swing overnight. Absolutely. Yeah, totally. I'm not afraid of that at all. So here was the bearish swing trade that we had on Twitter. So here's Twitter. So we exited that today because really my plan was, if it wasn't going lower, wasn't breaking down support, I was going to exit. So here's the original trade set up right here. So that was based off of an evening star reversal pattern, right? So here's the evening star. And I was hoping it would trade down to here, which would have been about 2 Rs, but it didn't quite do that. So if I hop back over to the actual trade and turn the moving averages off, you'll see and you'll notice here is the evening star pattern right here. It did break lower. It did trade to a target which I should have exited, and I don't know why I didn't, honestly. But here's the long-term moving averages, the 200 simple. Should have peeled off at least something there. We hit it 3 or 4 times. But anyway, then you got this giant candle came with an upper shadow, so we lowered the stop above the upper shadow. And then after Friday's candle, I was mentioning if we really don't start getting some more bearishness on Monday, then we would exit the trade. Well, that's what we did today because the Qs, which is obviously the tech sector. So the Qs, they were very bullish today, still are, up 0.6%. Nice bounce, nice one white soldier, new white soldier candle on Friday. Nice morning star reversal right here. So the Qs are bouncing. So with the Qs bouncing and Twitter, obviously a tech stock and not really going lower, we exited for a very small gain. But yeah, I will say, Java, that's a great question because I usually do, and it's actually kind of funny to see the dichotomy, but most of my day trades are bearish. Most of my swing trades are bullish. And if we're going to try to figure out why, it's because the bearish day trades move faster. So when you are day trading, you want to make money quickly, right? That's kind of the goal, kind of the objective. You want to make money fast. When you're swing trading, you obviously want to more or less go with the direction of the trend. And this market is very bullish, overall. So since it's a bullish market overall, we're placing a lot more bullish swing trades than bearish swing trades because the market is, well, more bullish. So yeah, very good question. And again, the stocks that I'm trading, Java, they're not like really weird, random pharmaceutical biotech stocks. So yes, granted, the stocks could gap big in one direction or another, and it has happened before, but it's pretty rare. Unless it's on earnings, I very rarely do get like a crazy gap just out in the middle of anywhere. Java says, can I ask you then, what do you think of FCX swing? So FCX, we've been looking at this one. We look at this one pretty much every other day. The entry on FCX, I mean, if you're looking at buying low, selling high, there's been a few instances. I wouldn't buy on today's candle. I would wait. So today's candle is showing that there's definitely some bullish sentiment, but getting in on FCX bullish today is really not the day. I mean, you're at a resistance right now. So here's kind of that resistance level. You're at the 100 simple. You got this giant bullish candle coming in. If you're looking at planning on getting in FCX, if you were not already in, obviously it would have been hard to buy down here, but your main objective would have been to buy as low as possible. This hammer candle off of the 100 simple moving average on a weekly entry would have been around here somewhere, which is about 11.90, so about 60 cents ago. Now, if you do get in, I mean, like I said, it's not a, I still like the location. Just let it pull back a little bit, because again, this is a massive candle. So let it pull back to maybe 12.20, and then hopefully something like that will happen. And overall, the stop could go below this low. So this could be your risk, this could be your potential reward. And obviously, as a trade, that more than likely would take a few months to transpire, right? This move from here to here took almost a month. But that's kind of rare for it to move that quickly. So it probably would take 2 to 3 months at the absolute minimum. So yeah, if you're looking to exit sometime this year, that's kind of that would be my thought process on FCX. Very, very, very valid question. Let's keep going through this list on the 5-minute chart over here really quick and seeing if there's anything else we're going to trade. Tyson Foods, almost traded Tyson going into lunch, but I decided against it. The support that I was going to trade was right here, which really would have been a good trade. Low of this candle. It broke the low of the day. So here's the low of the day. There's the break of the low of the day. And there's the retest right there. With a stop here, it would have only gone to 1R. Didn't quite go to 2. So Tyson Foods would have worked. Not in on that one. Missed Southwest Airlines today as well. So I don't think Tyson is going to be played, but I think I can leave it on the list. Robert made an R on Abercrombie and really played that one pretty spectacularly. This is one we're looking at a lot this morning. And you'll remember that we talked about this low of the day break right there. Entry could have been, right below the low of that candle. Stop could have been there or there. And that would have worked out for about an R. So Abercrombie, nice gap, nice mover. Here on the daily chart, we got a really good breakdown of a massive, massive support. So we're going to look at Abercrombie at some point to see what it does. I doubt it continues lower today. It's already down 20%, but I guess you never know. Big five sporting companies I was looking at earlier to see if it would ever break down and retest. It never did, at least not yet. This is a stock that trades in 5-cent increments, which is kind of my least favorite stock for sure, at least the way they trade. I think we can take this one off the list. Doesn't really look massively appealing. CARA has continued lower. Might be a low of the day break, possibly in the afternoon. We'll keep it on the list. Costco. Java, how'd you end up on Costco, man? Did you make a little bit of money? So Costco, the traders who played Costco won small. It wasn't a home run by any means. But earlier in the day, I was talking about kind of a retest in this area with a stop right around here in this area. And then when it came back down to make that relative low, which was right there, so trade down, traded up, and rolled over into here. We were talking about exiting, taking off a small piece of your position at that support, lowering the stop to about here, and eventually lowering the stop to about there. So anyway, if you won small on Costco, good job. It wasn't a home run. Again, it's a little extended on the daily, and that's why we were watching it and being very patient this morning because it's already moved. And that's the thing is you got to keep in mind when you're day trading how far something's moved. This has already moved 30 points in like 2 weeks. It's a far, far move. Francesca's, we were watching this one. This one bounced hard. The reason this one bounced is because here's the daily chart and there's your daily support. So all it did is trade into a daily support level. So nothing on Francesca's. GPS gap, this one really didn't get a chance to trade this one all day. It just free fell all day long. Here's the 5-minute chart and just never retested, never gave a great signal. Now, there were a few places, if you were watching it, where you could have gotten in, break below that bullish candle, a break below that bullish candle. You did retest this support. So that support got formed right there. It did retest, but just never pulled back quite far enough for me to trade it since I lost on NVIDIA. And also did end up losing on 5 below. So here's FIVE. So 5 below did end up running bullish. It did take out the high, that bearish candle that I did not want it to do. So there's that bearish candle right there. And looking at it, you've got to be thankful to have had a stop on that trade. Because as I was mentioning, we were talking about exiting that trade. And if you didn't, how badly, it could turn around for you. So it's really, really quite crucial to use those stops and make sure you keep a very close eye on them. So 5 below didn't work. No big deal. PayPal, trading sideways. We'll take that one off the list. But as a swing trade, it's definitely getting pretty. And then SHPG. So this is one that did work, even though there is a lot of daily support. You can see those 2 purple lines. There is some support here. Here's the 5-minute chart, and this is one that we drew earlier in the morning, and it retraced like a gem. So there was the low that we were talking about earlier today. Stop was right about there. Broke lower, came into old resistance, new support, and failed like I failed chemistry. Really good run. 162 was the target for most traders who were in that trade, and that was a really flawless place to exit. Job says, Jeremy, what do you think of TWLO, swing trade? TWLO, it's at a resistance, which is the 100 simple moving average. It's going to take some time for it to break above that price. So until it breaks above that price, it's very neutral. Because this blue line is a good resistance. So it's either going to break up or break down at some point. So, yep, it is still retesting right now. Nice little triple bottom down here. Good retest gap. So, yep, just going to have to be patient on that one. At some point, I think it likely rallies a little bit. Here's what the weekly chart looks like. and kind of looks like a little bit of a pennant pattern. So it looks good at some point for it to start breaking up 1% today. My buddy Adam is in some January calls. So earnings coming up in about a month. So next target, if it breaks out, will probably be the 200 simple moving average, which is about 32.83. And if you have enough shares, if it does break out and trade up into here, you could always consider doing a covered call over earnings around 40 or 39.50 or something like that. Something to consider at least on TWLO. Good question, man. So I want to talk about two things in this particular second hour of Mentorship Monday. And again, if there's any questions about it, let me know. So I got a text while I was at lunch from a really good friend, solid trader. The question is just a beautiful, humanistic, bottom of your heart, tears at your heartstrings kind of question. It's just so human. I love it. So the question says, have you ever felt like you were getting off track and sidetracked in life and need to get recentered? How do you usually handle that? It's a very good question. It's a big question, pretty broad, and really is, in a way, it can be trading related, but it can also be life related. Funny part is, the name of the company is Real Life Trading. So we talk about life and we talk about trading. We talk about how those two combine each other. So the beautiful part about that question, right, how getting sidetracked and needing your focus back in life, this can be, and this can go down a lot of paths, you know, meditation, religion, spiritual, relationships, monetary, finance, education. There's a lot of paths that you can go down with the answer to that question. It really just depends on who you are, your upbringing, your family, what you love, what you enjoy, right? A lot of paths to go down. For me, if I need to get recentered, refocused in trading and or in life, right, it's going to happen to everybody. It doesn't matter how energetic they are, how much money they have, how wealthy they are, you know, how smart they are, how good looking, whatever it is. There are absolutely going to be times in everyone's life where they need that centering, they need that focusing, they need that come to Jesus moment. It's not really the right term, but you guys get the point. It's like you get back to where you were, because again, what will happen in life, you know, success, a lot of people think success looks like this, but we all know it looks something like this. And you start getting back on track. Well, there's some things that can sway you, and even the smallest degree, the smallest change can, you know, take you off path drastically, right? If you're going to if you're walking from LA to New York City, but every 100 steps you pivot your body by 1/4 of a millimeter, you know, you'll probably end up in Nashville rather than New York City at some point. So the very, very smallest amount of changes can have a huge, huge impact at the very, very end, at the end of the journey. So the way I do it, and again, this is just my viewpoint, this is my perspective, this is my personality, but I'm driven by purpose, and my purpose is going to usually comes down to some type of achievement or growth. That's one of my top human needs, growth and love. So everyone has a purpose. And Mark Twain, one of my favorite quotes goes, the two greatest days in your life are the day that you're born and the day you find out why. So we all have a purpose. We all have something to give to this world, some type of knowledge, some type of energy, some type of focus, sincerity, love, gifts, generosity, whatever it is. We are all designed to create and provide some kind of value into this world. Right? That's why we are here. We're here to live life, enjoy life, and give value to other people, because the more you give, the more you receive. So through that purpose, through that achievement, through that growth, for me, if I'm ever at a point in time where I need recentering, need refocusing, really one of the main steps I do is I go look for something brand new. Brand new, something I've never done before, ever, ever, ever. Because what that will do is it will take your brain from, and your brain does this naturally, but it will take your brain and it will make you think about things that you are no longer thinking about. So it gets your brain out of the comfort zone, for example. So if your brain is a box, that's why people say think outside the box, right? If your brain's in a box, doing something brand new will literally force your brain to just start thinking about other things forcefully. That's why every single month I have this challenge at Real Life Training to do something new, go somewhere new, try something new, eat something new, next month is going to be volunteer month, where the encouragement is going to go volunteer somewhere. Volunteer your time. Give something to someone that you know and you don't expect to ever get back. It's one of the best feelings you can ever have. So the way I get my purpose is I go do something brand new, and it can be something very small. Most people forget that it can be something small. They think, oh, I have to accomplish and achieve this massive, huge thing in order to get that growth, get that fulfillment, get that purpose. But you really don't have to. If you try something brand new, what your brain will intrinsically start doing is just thinking about different points of your life, different memories, different goals. It could be something as going to a park or a place in another state or in your state that you've never ever been to before, and sitting there thinking about something that you've never thought about. And a lot of people go, well, I don't know how to think about something that I've never thought about. How do I pick that topic? Well, that's where you can absolutely have a mentor to help you. You just more or less contact someone. You go, hey, I want to go somewhere that I've never been before and think about something that I've never thought about before. What would you suggest? And as I've talked about before, the quality of your questions determine the quality of your life. So you ask those two questions, you're going to get some very, very specific answers. Let's say you went to a park and you sat down on a bench for 3 hours, put your cell phone away. No one was around. It was just you for 3 entire hours. You got a notebook and a pen and your body. You're sitting on this bench, and you try to come up with your first 10 memories ever. First 10 memories. Like, you're just going through your brain and trying to remember the very first 10 things that you ever remember. You write each one down, and then you write down what they mean. It can be, again, there's myriads of things you can do. There's literally countless. So this is the way I do it. Now, is this the perfect way? A lot of people do meditation, where they just sit there and don't think about anything and they just try to clear their mind. That's absolutely one way. But going and thinking and putting your brain in a space where it's never been before, where it's not used to being, will help you clear the garbage, clear the clutter, for example, and it allows you to start thinking about different things. It allows you to get that refocus. And then once you're there, once you have cleared your brain of clutter, once you've gotten out of that comfort zone, right, that's through action. You have to take action. Most people say massive action. You have to really, really do it, and do it intently. Once you take that action, you get to a new space. Your brain gets into just a new level of thinking, a new level of consciousness. And once you do this, once you do these activities, once you take that action, you then find an achievement or something that you can do, some kind of goal, and then go crush it. It can be something simple. Read a book, or go work out, or go give a presentation at a school, or go cook a meal for my spouse, or go connect with somebody, a friend or a family member that I haven't talked to in a while, or go donate to a charity, or go help someone repair their house, or go accomplish something that has a goal orient. Can be something small, can be something large. I usually suggest, hey, go do something tiny so that you achieve it. And once you have that achievement, you're going to feel that growth. Once you have that growth, you're going to be happier. And when you're happier, you're going to be re-centered. Your brain's going to be in a space that you want it to be in. It's going to feel good, and you're going to go back and attack whatever it was that you're trying to focus on the first time. You're going to be re-centered, refocused. And it's something that a lot of people do. A lot of people talk about meditation. Really, all meditation is, you are trying to clear your brain and think differently. A lot of people say, well, I can't not think about anything when I'm meditating. That's kind of the point. The point of meditation is you sitting there battling and trying to not think about stuff. Because you're going to think about everything. They say that the only way that you are truly without thought is you've at that point reached enlightenment, right? So there's very few people, I guess, that get there. But That meditation is you practicing having your thoughts cleared. You're practicing a mental repetition of not thinking about anything. And you're always going to be thinking about things. But when you catch yourself thinking about things, you have that battle and you go, okay, let me try to clear my mind again. Let me refocus. Let me recenter. What am I thinking about? Nothing. Don't want to think about anything. And that's why you make that right? That's why you practice, because when you are making a sound with your mouth, it gives you something to do. It gives your brain something to do other than think. Because remember, there's so many things that your brain does subconsciously that you're not even in control of, right? Makes your heart beat, makes your blood flow, makes your temperature, your eyes blink, your skin, your nerves. It does all these things while you're thinking about it. So to get refocused, the biggest challenge is it's all in your mind. It's all a mental. So the only way, in my opinion, to do that is you have to get into a new mental state where you're thinking about new things, where you're doing new things, where you're you're putting your brain in predicaments, situations, and environments that it's not usually in. That's how you refocus. That's how you recenter. That's a really good question, actually, Stephen. I was thinking about that not too long ago. Stephen says, have you ever tried a float tank, which is like a sense deprivation tank? Is that also what it's called? I forget. I have not tried that yet, but I want to. It's definitely on my list of things to do. I've never tried it. Most people say when they do it, they just sleep. And it's okay. If you meditate and fall asleep, that's all right. And that's, again, that's your battlement towards enlightenment, right? Enlightenment is being able to sit there and not think about anything. But a float tank or a sense deprivation tank, I haven't done yet. It's a great goal. I think I need to put that on my list, maybe even for this year. Because I agree with you, Stephen. It's a very, very, you're just sitting there, no noise, no sounds, no lights. You don't really feel anything because you're in lukewarm water. Same temperature as your body. So it's just, you're not really feeling or seeing or hearing anything. And it's just, you talk about getting centered. So it's a good way to clear your head and hit the restart button. Yeah, that's a big one. So if you really want to go to an extreme, you want to do something just totally new, do that. And again, that's what life is. Life's about experiencing new things. Life, to me, truly life is about experiences. And an experience can be doing something brand new with brand new people. It doesn't have to be anything specific, but it's just an experience. It's a memory that you will always have. That's a great one. Great suggestions. If anybody ever does a float tank, let me know. I probably could just research one around here in Nashville. I'm sure there's one around, but I saw one in LA that some people I watched on YouTube did not too long ago. So that would definitely be a good way to do it. And that was really a great question for the person who asked it. I hope this was helpful. It really is, and it comes down to that action, a new action, knowing that you're off center, accepting it, letting it be okay, dwelling on it for a very short period of time, and then figuring out how you take that action. What action is it? And then go do it. For some people, the accountability or the challenge is a very, very helpful thing. So if somebody wants to take action, but they're scared, they have that third party, right? That spotter, that coach, that whoever that says, hey, you got a little bit of a bridge right here. Let's get you over it. Let's push you over it somehow. Play till you puke kind of mentality where, all right, well, if you want a result, I'm just going to get you through as much pain as I can right here. So, because that way your brain's going to be thinking something else. When you actually achieve the thing that you're trying to go for, when you actually get to the result that you want to get to, your body naturally will feel just this huge euphoric state. And that energy will create that continuum of feeling success. And that is very, very massive. The other thing I want to talk about in Mentorship Monday for the second hour, this was also brought up last week about what topics to cover, was really how to grow a small account. And I will say that if you have that question, if you have that topic, I'm going to talk about it today as well. And I can cover any questions that you have now. But we did create a really good video about it. It's actually on our website and our YouTube channel. So let me just kind of pull up both. So if I type in how to grow a small account, see what videos come up. All right, I'm number 3, not too bad. So how to grow a small account, number 3 on YouTube. And if you come over here to articles and you type it in, or click on videos, so actually click on videos. And just kind of scroll down, go to page 2. I believe it's on either page 2 or page 3. Yep, so page 2, how to grow a small account. And really what I do is I talk about the different markets in which you can trade a small account. Because at the end of the day, there's only so many ways you can do it. That's just the simple truth. There's only so many ways you can grow a small account. There's only so many markets you can use and you can take advantage of if you do have a small account. In my most recent experience, the one that most traders lean towards is Forex, because you really can have a very, very small account and trade Forex. The downside of Forex trading a small account is, well, leverage is good and bad because you can lose more than you invest in Forex. It is absolutely possible because you do have so much leverage. Now, obviously, you can use stops and things like that. You can mitigate it, but you know, if you use leverage, just like on stocks, if you use margin, you can lose more than you invest. So that is a downside. The other part of it is a lot of people don't fully understand Forex. What I mean by understand Forex is with the margin, with the setups, with the strategies, you still at some point want to understand, and to a certain degree, the fundamentals of the currencies that you're trading. Because in my opinion, Forex is very political and news-based, right? You got to kind of have an idea of what's going on between the two countries. You can do a lot of it through technical analysis, but you do want to understand kind of bigger picture what's going on with Forex, because it is a currency and it can fluctuate with supply and demand, but much differently than stocks. Because stocks and Forex is like, I forget the exact term, but it's like 100 times bigger than stocks. Forex is. So simple supply and demand is not going to move Forex or a foreign currency. Just won't. So when you're dealing with supply and demand in the trillions of dollars, right, it's a little different. And that's another thing there. A lot of traders just don't mechanically, economically, fundamentally understand Forex. And I'm one of those, by the way. I'm in that camp where I get it. I can do the technical analysis all day. In fact, I'll go do one with you guys right now. Let's go do US dollar, Canadian dollar. Always a fun one. So here's US dollar, Canadian dollar, and here's the weekly chart. So the weekly chart, right, if I'm trading a Forex, if I'm trading a position on Forex, I got support resistance right there, and I have one right there. And if I was going to buy some US dollar against the Canadian dollar, I would look to buy it down here. I would leg in a little bit there, buy some US dollars, then buy some more if it pulls down to here, and I would hold it a little bit longer term. A lot of people love scalping Forex, right? Because again, no real commissions. They like the in and outs, the quick moves. I think because of the leverage on Forex, it's a lot easier, depending on the currency you're looking at, to do longer term trades. Because again, a lot of the Forex, especially the Japanese yen, this one is one of the currencies that annoys me the most. Mostly because it has to move so far for you to really get it. But secondly, even though, again, the setup on a weekly chart looks like a double bottom's about to come in. Anything above 114, you'd buy the US dollar opposed to the yen. Here's the daily chart, and the daily, again, we can analyze all of this. This is a really rare occasion, but you get a great bullish gap and go right there on the Japanese yen, US dollar. And she ran, entry here, stop there. That's a lot of pips. Here's your double bottom, close of the neckline, retest the neckline, breakout of the 100, 200, flag pattern, breakout, here's your resistance. It trades the exact same way, technically, like mechanically. So if you're coming in here to a 5-minute chart, this is the reason I don't like the yen, is because of these wicks. I don't like day trading the yen because of that, and just it's weird and I don't like it. But if I practice it more and more and more, I might become used to it. And again, sometimes a lot of traders use Aishinaki candles with foreign currencies. The other reason a lot of people don't love foreign currencies is because it's really hard to explain to your friends what you're doing. If you have a buddy and you're like, yeah, I just bought some US dollar, Japanese yen, they have no idea what you're talking about, which makes it harder to get an accountability group. Now, of course, you can easily go and find an accountability group online, people that you can talk to and people that you can work with, and people that you can trade with. I mean, that's easy. They're everywhere. But to the same extent, we all know here now how much and how difficult it is to explain to somebody what we're doing on Amazon if we're doing an option trade, or if we're doing a regular old stock trade on ExxonMobil. You know, they still don't get it, but they do. Like, they at least understand, they know what ExxonMobil is, and knowing what ExxonMobil is allows you to at least kind of explain it. But even then, they don't get involved. So again, it's harder in my world, the way I teach, the way I understand it, to get people really interested in Forex. But again, that's just me. I know there's a lot of people who make a lot of money off of Forex. That's just how my brain works. I've always understood the whole stock component, so I kind of go in that route. Now, in a smaller account, one of the things that you're going to battle with, obviously, the day trading rule. It's very, very hard to day trade with a small account. It's more or less impossible. The Monday, Friday, Wednesday rule that I use, as much as I like it, it's good for, it's kind of sometimes converting a day trade into a swing trade. But really, this is for practice initially, because if you're just going to do the Monday, Friday, Wednesday rule for your day trading to avoid getting flagged as a pattern day trader and getting your account frozen, right? It's hard because, like, for example, today on Monday, let's say I take 2 trades and I lose on those. I have to wait all the way until Friday to take some more trades. But there's going to be a lot of trades between Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday that you could miss. And then now you feel like you're missing out and you have FOMO taking over. And once you have the fear of missing out, right, by Friday, you see all of these trades that you could have placed. You have the fear of missing out. You get into a trade on Friday. Now you lose, and now you wasted a whole week, and that's how you feel in your mind, right? You wasted this entire time. So the day trading thing with a small account is difficult. There are ways to do it. And you've all heard me talk about the hedge fund opportunities, and there's other proprietary funds that you can use. There are ways to use other people's money in order to day trade with. That is absolutely an option. And it's a very valuable, very viable, very legit way to do it. Otherwise, you're going to be looking at swing trading and or long term. So you either do this route, or you do swing trading, or you do long term. Even if you have a broker like Robinhood, and again, Robinhood doesn't charge any commission. You can only go bullish, and you still can't day trade, right? You can't take 3 or more round trips in 5-day period if you have less than $25,000. So even in Robinhood, you've got to match certain requirements, but they don't charge any commission, which is definitely a benefit of that. I agree with. But what I was saying earlier is, if you do have a small account, I would say come over here to FinViz and just spend an hour practicing this, because you can set up a lot of scanners for your smaller account setup. So the price, honestly, with the risk, with the R management system, you can trade just about any price stock. But let's say we want to keep it under $50 or under 10, right? If we're doing small cap or mid cap, or sometimes the stocks that are a little bit bigger, the more price stocks. But you can do with price. A lot of people, if you have a smaller account, that's why people get really drawn to penny stocks, because they're like, oh, I don't have that much money, So I have to do it this way. So that's one way you can start, is just going on a price. So in fact, let's just do under $15. Let's really, really narrow it down. So now we only have 2,300 stocks without anything else. So if you have a small account, you probably are also going bullish, right? So let's do an RSI, and let's do an RSI that's oversold. Right, so that means the stock, the RSI, right, it's a little bit lower. So now we've already narrowed it down to 77 stocks. Low RSI, and it's a cheaper stock. Now we got a pattern, and let's say we got a strong horizontal support resistance. Now we have 2. We've narrowed it down to 2. So now we can just go look at them. Let's go look and see what PLG is doing. PLG, and then again, you're looking at one of these stocks, 73 cents. If you're looking out on a weekly chart, I can already tell this is just going to be a big no, more than likely. All right, so here's more probably a no. It's platinum mining, it's out of support. Now maybe you do, right? Maybe you say, well, I want to put some money at it and see if it happens. I was texting a buddy this just the other day. And I hope this is a breakthrough for a lot of traders who were wondering about this. That's called speculation, is for when you have money. Okay? If you've only got $300 or $3,000 or shoot, even $10,000, you're not going to be doing a lot of speculation. Speculation is like, all right, I'm going to put $400 here, $400 here, $400 here, $1,000 here, $1,000 here. Right, that's speculation, really spreading it out over some really risky securities. I know you want to. I know why you want to mathematically if you have a small account. Because this could happen. And it can go to $9. Well, if you're going to speculate, start researching the company. Start figuring out, is it too easy? Do too many people understand it? Do you actually know how the company makes money? Do you interact with them ever? Is there anything that you can go in and see and touch and feel? Do you know this company at all? Is there any future to this company? Are they going to do anything extraordinary in 5-10 years? Right? That type of thing. So if you're going to put in $300 and then go, okay, that's my risk, that's my R, and you got a $3,000 account, well, now you only have $2,700 left, and you're betting you're betting 10% of your account, 10% of your position on one stock, PLG. So if you're going to do that, you better know it really well. And sure, worst case scenario it goes to 0. Best case scenario it goes up. But even if it goes to $9, right? So if it went to $9 a share, so let's do that really quick. Let's take $300 divided by 73 cents equals $410. If it goes to $9 a share, you're only looking at $3,698. Now, I know I say only, but I want this to sink in for a little bit. That's not a lot of money at all. Even if you have a small account, that's not a lot of money. We can all agree $3,600 is nothing. So if you put in $300 and this trade turned into an absolute home run, best case scenario, you make $3,600. Right? Best case. If it goes to 9, which would be, a slight miracle, and it would take a while for that to happen. Or what if you took $300 and you bought $300 worth of books and you read all of them? And the books that you bought were about building an online business. Do you think you would be able to some point generate more than $3,600 because you're investing in what? Yourself. Okay, when you invest in yourself, you're going to see more of a return. Trust me. So if you have a small amount of money, speculation, going, and just throwing some money out there, that's for when you're wealthy. When you have a lot of money and you can do that because you've built up the discipline to go, it's only $300. I'll put some money to work. I'll buy 2 or 3, 4 of these. You guys have heard me talk about this before. I really don't speculate that much at all. I'll do some every now and then, maybe about 3 to 4 Rs a month, max in speculation. Max. That's like right now I have 2 R's of risk, 3, First Solar, VRX, and Litecoin. But with that being said, I know I'm going to lose an R on VRX. I know I'm probably going to lose half an R on First Solar, and Litecoin, I'm crushing it. So it's one of these things where when you have a speculative position, you got to have a little bit more money to speculate. Otherwise, take that money and invest it in yourself. Invest in yourself, invest in yourself, invest in yourself, invest in yourself, invest in yourself. If you have a small account, pay your dues. Learn stuff, right? Learn a lot, because it's going to take you a long time to grow that account. Simple as that. And as Brad and everyone else in the world have said, even if you do grow that account to $10,000, right, it's still not that much money. So if you invest in yourself, if you mentally learn more about how to do things, how to grow things, how to invest in real estate, online marketing, online websites, how to start businesses, how to advertise, there's so much information out there. It's unbelievable how many ways you can make money on the internet. It's insane. Learn to sell your knowledge and become a consultant, right? If you got a smaller amount of money, start investing in yourself. Really, that's step number 1, folks. Truly, it doesn't matter how big your account is, invest in yourself. Be around smart people. Pay your dues to be around people who are smarter than you. I do that all the time. Every room I go into, I'm usually the dumbest person in that room. I pay to be there. I pay to be around people who are way smarter than me, way more wealthy than me, know more things. I ask them the stupidest questions I can ever ask. So I learn things. I'm not afraid to look stupid, because I want to know how I can invest in myself. How can I take a $300 instead of a speculation and invest it into me? Because I know I can get a return that way. I know for sure. There will be a return. Now, when I say invest in yourself, I'm not talking about like food or alcohol. I'm talking about like invest it in yourself and then learn more things, grow. Knowledge is power, right? So that's step 1. Step 2 is if you are trading a smaller account, here's SYMX. Let's go look at that and see what that's doing. SYMX, again, very cheap, out of support, doesn't really look that great. So let me come back over to the scanner and see if there's anything I can change. Horizontal strong support. So let's just take that off, and we're gonna get a lot more stocks again. 73 of them. Okay, so let's do this. Let's do something with a PE ratio. Something with a PE ratio. So let's do a PE ratio. So it has a PE ratio over 5. So they're making money, right? So now we got 13. So we have companies that are making money. They actually have like income coming in, right? Now you can go and analyze and figure out how you want to take these trades. So let's go look at ATV. So again, if you are trading a smaller account, you can still trade small caps. That's fine. The analysis is the exact same. You can do scans, or you can do stocks that, you can do Southwest Airlines, American Airlines, Micron Technology, Starbucks. You can still trade stocks that, we trade often in the room. So this is the weekly chart, and here's the daily chart. It's like, okay, obviously the volume, not that great, very light volume. Mobile phone retailer, light volume, Morningstar reversal, probably not that amazing, but if you wanted to get into that trade, your entry could be here, stock could be here, something like that. If you want to trade it, but if you're like, nah, the volume is too low, then again, you just go down this list. So you can use FinViz. Again, this is free, right? Free, and you can input all kinds of stuff. It really doesn't have to be that crazy. Sit here for an hour and just start building some things that you think are interesting, right? You can change RSI, you can do any. So now we have a PE ratio over 5, under $15, and let's do a gap up. Okay, and a change from open is up. Now we have 98, and you can go through all 98 of these stocks if you want to. You can save them as a portfolio even. So going through these, right? You go through the list, you find out what looks good. So here's ABEV. So ABEV. Come over to ABEV, 558. Looks like it's double bottoming. I would let it close above here. Tomorrow, I look to buy a pullback right about there with the stop right about there, target right about here. And then I would do the math to figure out how many shares that is. So let's say I have a $3,000 account. Okay, so my R is, let's just call it 40 bucks. All right, 556 minus 526 equals 30 cents. 40 bucks minus 30 cents equals 13 shares. 13 shares times $5.56 equals $74. Right? So you can take this trade with a very small account. ABEV. It's a beverage. You can go research. They do pay dividends. It's actually not a bad, cheaper stock, honestly, to trade overall. But you guys get what I'm saying? It's like, and the thing is, even if you take this trade, it's a small amount of money, right? What this will do is it helps you practice. It helps you get in your reps, because if you do have a small account, it's going to take time to grow it. And during that process, you are going to want and need and must focus on how you grow yourself as a person. While you're in that trade, start learning new things, reading new books, talking to new people, having new mentors, growing, learning, asking questions, writing things down, putting money away. If you have a job right now, start getting a promotion, right? Take on more responsibilities, make more money at your work. Read more books, talk more with your spouse, learn more about each other, grow and learn. And over 2 years, you took your $3,000 and turned it into $3,016. Cool, right? During that time, you put in the work, you put in time, you've learned a lot more than you've learned now. Even though your trading is not pristinely phenomenal, it's going to take time with an account that small, right? But hopefully, at the same juncture, you're still putting money into it. Still putting money into the account, even if it's $20 extra a week. Put money into your small account, grow it manually by putting money in there. Now, with all that being said, and at some point in the near future, I just haven't figured out the exact platform yet, or where or when. I'll say this to you guys now. I've gotten about 7 companies who've reached out to me asking me if I'm going to create a cryptocurrency program. There's not that much information out there about it right now, and a lot of the people who are trading it aren't teaching it. So anyway, it's in the works. It's in the future, but there's a lot of things I have to create before I create that. If you do have a small account, learn cryptos, learn cryptocurrencies. It's a massive, massive thing to learn. It is the future. It's never existed before. 10 years ago, it's not even something that people even talked about. Learn cryptocurrencies. Learn how they work. Worst case scenario, just go figure out how to trade them and practice and draw some lines and learn how to buy it, support, and sell at resistance. Because cryptocurrencies, they're not leveraged. You can trade on margin, but don't. Okay, they work just like stock, except you can trade them with any amount of money. And this is the thing that I think a lot of people forget. But you can trade it with 10 bucks, 100 bucks, 1,000 bucks. It doesn't matter. You can buy fractions of a cryptocurrency, right? Up to 7 or 8 decimal places. And there's no pattern day trading rule. The commissions are insanely cheap. And the technical analysis is mind-boggling. These things move 10% every 12 hours, just about. 10% every 12 hours, up and down. So here's an hourly chart of Litecoin specifically. And I do trade Litecoin. I do have a position in Litecoin. And this right here, easy support, trade it up, trade it back down, buy right there at 45, sell at 52. That was 10 to 20% move. You could have done that with any amount of money. Literally anything from $1 to any amount. It doesn't matter. Obviously, you place your stops. You can have stops. You can trade it just like a stock, but you can do it with a small amount of money. So, right, if you have $100 US dollars and you're trying to trade this with shares, you can only buy 2 shares, at 80 bucks. And if it trades up to here, you're only going to make a few dollars. Same thing with, it's the same amount of money that you're going to make. but the commissions are almost non-existent. On $100, you might have paid maybe 3 pennies in commission. It's not a lot at all. And it's a very specific strategy with cryptocurrency that I'm using right now. It's aggressive and it's risky, but at the same time, it's like you got to know a little bit about it. You want to do a little bit of research. You want to understand what they are, why people care about them so much, why people are talking about them so much. I do trade multiple ones, so I'm waiting for Ethereum to pull back a little bit farther. I'm looking to buy Ethereum around 130 and some change. But if you have small accounts, in my opinion, this is better than stock. Because again, you're buying and selling, and you still have to have a longer term approach. You still have to focus, but unlike stock, right, it's a lot easier to spread out your risk into some coins. They're not very expensive, and I do think they're going to go up over time. And they don't ever, yeah, exactly. The markets never close. They're open 24/7. 24/7, 365. So it all comes down to, what markets you're trading, how big your account is, how you're going to grow it, the things that you're going to, what your goals and objectives are. You need to start, absolutely vital, you need to start the owner process. Okay, becoming an owner rather than a buyer. Doesn't matter if you have $100, my friends. It really doesn't matter the amount of money that you have. You've got to start thinking the mentality, I need to own this rather than buy this. I need to own rather than buy. So if you're going to, go out to eat and you're going to McDonald's and you're about to drop $20 into some McDonald's, you better take that exact same amount of money, that $20, and set it aside to at some point buy some stock. Because right, I know with $20 you can't buy any stock at McDonald's right now, but take that $20, put it aside, and then go buy them later. Every time you go to McDonald's, put $20 or however much you put in to McDonald's, put it aside, and at some point put in some money in McDonald's, right? Because you got to become an owner rather than a buyer. You've got to think about that mentality early. And even if, what you got to consider is even if you just do that strategy where you just put money into one stock over time and just own it rather than buy it. Long-term stocks that you really feel will continue going up. Stocks that you know how they make money. Stocks where you can go in and literally see your inventory in front of you and figure out how well it's doing. Right? If you buy shares of McDonald's, you can go into any of the local McDonald's, go in there and see, is the food good? Are the people nice? Is the restaurant clean? Are the people buying it? Is the parking lot full? Is the parking lot empty? You can get to see that. You can see your product right in front of your face. You can taste it, eat it, hold it, and touch it, and figure out, is this a good long-term investment? Do I still like it? And own rather than buy. Save up some money, throw some aside, put it into that particular stock, even if it only goes up 10%. Because that mentality of owning rather than buying at some point will start working for you, and it'll start shifting your mentality, shifting your focus, shifting the things that you think about. And with that shift comes the mental understanding of making your money work for you. And once you start really just getting comfortable of having your money always work for you, you're in that mentality often. You're always thinking about how can I own rather than buy. Remember, money never sleeps. So as you continue to own, there will be times where you'll just slowly start accumulating more wealth. You'll start thinking more things, asking more people, talking to more people, understanding more things, chatting with more people, asking better questions, growing, right? And that's really the goal. If you have a small account, you've got to grow. But in order to grow the account, you have got to grow yourself. Ladies and gentlemen, it's been an absolute pleasure. This is Mentorship Monday. This is the second hour. Third hour is going to be from 5 to 6 Eastern Standard Time, where we will discuss how trading is more of an art than a science. We're still going to be talking about trader psychology. And tomorrow, we're back in the game. The rest of the month of July, we'll be hitting it hard. Let's stay profitable. Let's trade our plans. Let's be patient. And let's go enrich lives. Ladies and gentlemen, you're amazing. I will see a lot of you the afternoon, and I'll see most of you also tomorrow. And until then, remember, love life, and trade it. You guys rock.